Hi, welcome back to the channel. This week we're looking at square bases. And think kind of loud style, that's what I'm going for. And when I say loud, I obviously mean the group called loud. So the first thing we obviously need to do is choose a square waveform. We can go up to here, and we can choose in default shape, so we can choose square. Let's turn random down. And more than likely as this video goes on, this wave will change, but it's a good starting point for now. Let's turn octave down. Although it doesn't really matter with the octaves, I get that question a lot actually. And there's no difference between doing it here or doing it in the MIDI itself. So let's go and draw in a pattern then. And the trick here is to use triplets. So right click down the bottom here and choose triplet grid. And then we'll also go up and we'll choose 1/8. And if you're not sure what triplets are, I did a video of this a few weeks ago. But essentially what it does, it changes this grid from one kick to the next kick. In other words, a quarter of a bar. It divides that into 3 rather than dividing it by 4 as is the case with standard 16ths. So that means we only enter 3 bass notes at a maximum. So let's start here and we're going to extend this over here. We will do this track in E, so down to E. Let's do another one here, maybe another shorter one, a long one. And just temporarily, I'm just going to turn down the sustain, just so I have something plucky, just to get a bit of a feel for the groove really, while I draw this pattern in. Let's give it a kick. And we'll go up and we'll put this back to where it was. And then here, in the second one, let's move that up an octave. Shorten these notes, they're not overlapping. This one also. And here, let's turn this one up an octave as well. And we'll maybe extend these ones. And it sounds horrible at the moment because we don't have mono and legato on. Now let's also add a filter. And now you can kind of get the vibe of where we're going. We're most of the way there. Now what I see a lot of guys doing, and I'm certainly not going to say it's wrong, but they attach envelope to the cutoff like so, as you would with a normal 16th bass. And it gives that plucky vibe to it. Instead, remove this, and then we just have this constantly on. So it's that constant, deep rumble. Let's add a bit of drive. I think 12 works, just leaves just the right amount of high end. Now the next thing we're going to do is give it a bit of stereo. But before we do that, let's go and choose a different wave. Now that we know this one's working, we can now choose a different waveform. Let's go to analog, and here I'm going to choose basic WRD. And if we turn the wave position down, we come back to a square around there. Doesn't sound too different to what we had before, just maybe a tiny little bit more gritty. And essentially what we're going to do, we're going to copy this and we're going to paste it down like so. We're going to pan one right and we're going to pan one left. And that will give us the stereo that we're after. After we do another little trick that is, but we're jumping ahead. In the meantime, let's turn this one off and let's open up an EQ or some kind of visualization tool. And what we want to do, we want to cut the sub out of these main wavetables. We're going to add the sub back in later. The reason is because we don't want any of that panning left or right. So let's have a look in ProCube. We can see our sub is here. This is our fundamental. This is our first harmonic. And if we go here, this is the first harmonic here. If we reduce this, you can see that this is now completely gone and we've lost all that low end. Let's go here. Turn down the octaves to match so we're in same. And we have that sub now back. Just check that it's going to the filter. And we'll also do B also while we're there. And in fact, let's do C as well while we're there. So now that we have this version without the sub or without the first harmonic, we can now copy and paste that again. And we're going to do it a third time also. Let's put these back into the center. Let's remove the sub because that didn't come across with the copying. So now these are all identical. Then let's go into our editor. And in this one, if we look here, we have our octaves. So 1, 2, and 3. Let's, from the third one, let's right click and clear high frequencies. So now going from left to right, we have our sub, then we have our next two, and then we have our high frequency content from then on oscillator B and oscillator C. Let's make sure we do the opposite here. It was here where we cut. So let's go clear low frequencies. So once again, right click, clear low frequencies. And then we'll do the same on this one. Right click, clear low frequencies. Let's bring up our ProCube again. Now, one thing you'll notice, because we've essentially doubled the high frequency content by having two oscillators here, that's obviously louder now. So this section above, this section here is obviously loud, as you can see in the visual here. So to make sure they're in line, let's turn this down, down. We will add a macro. Change this one to upper, back into our EQ. And then we'll turn them back up now. Now, so far, we're still completely mono because these two, which is going to be the left and the right, they're still identical. But because we have our sub and our lower mid on separate wavetables and a separate sub oscillator, they're going to be completely unaffected by anything we do in oscillator B and C, which will affect the stereo. Now, if we adjust these, we're still not going to have any stereo because these two are identical, like I said. So, come up here, and we'll just make these a little bit different. But as you can see, once we've done that, annoyingly, it has got rid of this. So we have to go and clear that again, clear low frequencies, and clear low frequencies. And then what we can do, let's add a macro to pan, and we'll put them back in the center. And then here, macro, let's turn this one down, -30. And in fact, let's go all the way. I say all the way, but I mean 49, and you'll see why. Because now we have the maximum here. If we go more, then we get to the red. Anything 50 and above will turn into the red on this here. So let's go back, undo, and undo so that they're both 49. And this is now on macro 2. These are all mono now. Rename this one to width. And if we turn this up, it starts to get a little bit wider. Don't expect a massive difference, by the way. And then final thing, just to round it off, let's go to our effects and put our utility, and we'll do mono bass. It should already be mono anyway because we've not done anything with the sub and oscillator A. But just to be safe, put this on. And the final thing, you'll notice that when the upper notes come in, it's quite a lot brighter. So let's put note on cutoff and turn it down the other way. And after just a few minor changes, we have this. So there we go, I think that's working. And to be perfectly honest, if you don't want to faff around with splitting out the wavetable, you can just keep it just as one. But in my mind, we have the technology, we have the tools, why not use them? So there we go, a stereo loud style square bass. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.